what's up everyone? A-Aron here, back for my 7th reaction video. It's been almost a week and already have almost 400 subscribers, so thank you all so much. It's been an incredible journey. And today I feel like I'm about to get my socks knocked off again. I'm reacting to Angelina Jordan, which I don't know if I could say made the mistake, or obviously it wasn't a mistake. Listened to her a couple days back, and I got recommendations, and I learned so much about her. And now I'm actually super excited to explore more of her. And so first and foremost, let me give credit where credit was due. You see on my screen here, I want to thank this user, Thomas Offman 5516, who said, take the next reaction from Angelina. She was 9 years old. I put a spell on you. Black and white version. The original is from Screamin' Jay Hawkins. Or, yeah, he didn't spell it right, but I'm pretty sure it's Hawkins. I have heard the original, and I've heard several versions of that song, actually. So, now the reason that I'm super excited, but also very anxious, is just the abundance of comments, right? Like, Angelina has done over 200 covers and originals, and covers all genres, and oh boy, you're going to be bombarded by her fans and so forth. And it just sounds like, sorry, I gotta get used to turning my phone to silent. Now I have, sorry. Spam callers call me right at the time I'm recording for some reason. Literally, I've got a call all day, and then all of a sudden they're lighting up my phone. So I wasn't ready for that. So my apologies. But the point is, I've learned a lot about her, and it sounds like she is just incredible. Even, early on. And the last one I reacted to was Bohemian Rhapsody, and I said, Queen would be proud, and I learned in the comments that it sounded like they endorsed her. Obviously Freddie Mercury's dead, but the band endorsed her and allowed her to use the copyright for it, which is amazing. But we learned in that she actually won Norway's Got Talent at the age of 7. So now here, per what we saw, this is her at the age of 9. So she had already been a champion at this point for a couple of years. So clearly, she's a superstar even at an early age. And so I'm super excited. And with that said, let's go ahead and dive right into Angelina Jordan. I Put a Spell on You. Black and white? She's so young.
I put a spell on you. Because you're mine.
Ooh!
Stop the things you do. I ain't lying.
Are you kidding me? Girl, stop it! What did we just witness? I could spend an hour just talking about everything this far. And we just got started. Unreal. Okay, so before we get into her, let's set the stage a little bit, because I am familiar with this song. And for those of you who haven't caught some of my other stuff, I'm a jazz musician. I studied, jazz. And so I do know the Nina Simone version of this as well. And this song originally came from Screamin' Jay Hawkins. And actually, it was also done by Creedence Clearwater Revival and several other people. So it's a well-performed, well-known song. And so there's a piece I want to comment on, but I want to go back and listen one more time just to make sure I got that right. getting better at trying to pause and not talk over it. Yeah, so what's interesting here is the Screamin' Jay Hawkins version, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, had, if not identical, similar instrumentation, right? Where I hear a horn, a sax, a bass, drums, piano. I think it's a quintet. And I think it might have been the same instrumentation in that version, if I'm not mistaken. But that one was a lot more up-tempo, right? It was dun, 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 or maybe even a slightly faster, whereas this is a lot more subdued and laid back, which is more reminiscent of the Nina Simone version of that, which was much slower, like this one. But the Nina Simone version of it had different instrumentation. There were strings in the beginning. So she's combined them. Now, I don't know if this is her arrangement. Based on what I'm hearing of her, it would not at all surprise me. But it's a blend of the two. Now, the Creedence Clearwater Revival is more of a rock variety of it, right? And so, you know, for Screamin' Jay, we get more of that bluesy kind of rock feeling a little bit. Nina Simone is that jazz, dark, mystical, you know, and I put a spell on you. It almost feels like a voodoo doll with her and her deep voice. Whereas Creedence Clearwater Revival is definitely more rock oriented. At least that's my interpretation of it, right? And so here we see a hybrid, and her sound, like, I'm getting some essence from Nina Simone, but there's so many influences in there. Like, I mean, she's doing things that Billie Holiday did. She's even got some of the scream or growl of Screamin' Jay Hawkins in there. I feel like I've so much yet to hear. And what in the heck was that scream at the end of that? I don't think I've ever heard that. Like, it was a high-pitched scream, but so much control and just at such a low volume. It was ridiculous.
I put a spell on you. Because you're mine. Stop the things you do.
Woo-hoo! Okay, I gotta stop right there. Right there, just such a subtle thing, but just, she is in the pocket of this beat. Like, and, you know, one of the interesting things is that, you know, people like Nina Simone and that era influenced later, you know, people like, why am I blanking on the name? You know, the famous male singer, often known for jazz stuff. Holy cow. Frank Sinatra, right? To not necessarily always be on the beat. And, you know, Billie Holiday in that era, to swing, right? Jazz swing, to be a little bit behind and so forth. And, but there's a time where you need to be right there. And here, her enunciation in that is right there. Ba, da, ba, 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 ba. Like right in that pocket. And
stop the things you do.
With the syncopation, stop the things you do. Like, but, I mean, it's right there. Oh, that is amazing.
You're mine. Stop the things you do. I ain't lying.
What the heck was that?
I can't stand no running around.
And there's just so much to comment on. I haven't even talked about the fact that she's 9 years old. What? I want to encourage you to subscribe right now because I want you to feel every emotion as if it were your own, with reactions that are heartfelt and deeply personal. And you deserve that every day. So subscribe to get notified every time I unleash a new reaction for your enjoyment. So go ahead, hover over that subscribe button, click it, and put a big smile on your face. It literally takes 2 seconds. And with that, let's get back to the current reaction. I mean, get them out of here! Like, seriously. Like, I studied at a conservatory with some of the greatest minds in jazz. And now, granted, I wasn't a full-time student until, a part of the way into my degree. But she's already excelled like 10 times beyond where I ever was at the age of 9. And what is crazy about this is I have an 8-year-old son. He's about to be 9 in a couple months. He has no idea what love is and what the meaning of this would be. And I could be wrong. Maybe she's just followed from listening to others. But it feels like she's playing with those words and lyrics like she actually knows what that means. Right? And let's talk for a minute about that, right? So I put a spell on you, right? This song is about, like, it doesn't matter if you care for me or not. Baby, you're mine. I own you, right? I've got this noose around your neck. I'm pulling you and you are mine. I'm claiming you essentially as my property. Now, it's in a loving way, right? But it is kind of dark. And let's talk about that a little bit, right? And so this song is a bit dark. And what creates that? Well, first of all, it's set in a minor key, right? So major is more happy, whereas whereas minor tends to be more sad and, melancholic or dark or whatever, right? But she is just manipulating things to her whim however the heck she wants. It's unbelievable. And she has the maturity in this phrasing and interpretation and timing and interacting with the band and just her tool belt, her arsenal of skills is unprecedented. Unprecedented. I mean, we've listened to 20 seconds of her sing, and I get the heck out of here. Like, I'm looking at my notes. I don't even know if I've talked about everything I wanted to talk about in just that little bit. So anyway, the other thing is that, this is kind of derived from a blues. And you can hear that. And you can hear that in Screamin' Jay's interpretation. And, what makes a blues a blues? Well, for one, it's the chord progression. It has the same similar chord progression, although there's 100,000 different variants of that, right? But it's a cyclical pattern that allows you to get that feel where you can ad lib and do miscellaneous things. But, ultimately it resolves back on that start of what is typically a 12 bar progression, 12 musical bars. Right? And this is a minor blues, and it sounds like it's toying with a lot of the same flow and progression as a typical blues, but not necessarily exactly on it. So it creates that feeling of a blues, but that somberness of that minor modality. And again, it feels like she's going back to the feeling and the sentiment from the Nina Simone version, which is just dark and, I've put a spell on you, baby. Like just a very dark voice, deep voice. And just playing with that. And like I said, voodoo doll and so forth. But almost the instrumentation of the Screamin' Jay version, with the tempo of the other, this is an absolute workshop. And again, we've just gotten started. I don't even know what else to say, but other than, I guess we're continuing. I'm scared. This is something my kids say to me all the time, like, I don't know what to expect. I'm scared. I'm legitimately like, oh my gosh. All right, let's do it.
I can't stay.
oh my gosh, like, and the resolution, because you're mine, right into the sax solo, which I think there is a sax solo in Screaming Jay version as well, but I don't remember that solo. But what I will say about this one is it is very straightforward, fairly elementary blues, right? Like, it's just simple in its construction. And I'm guessing that this musician is much, much more capable than what they're doing. Or maybe not. Maybe it's just a filler musician. But I'm guessing it's intentional to not overshadow her brilliance. Right? This is mesmerizing. And you know what? Something I missed as well. Or actually, I didn't write it down, so I missed interpreting, is the black and white. And so they're trying to bring you back to that jazz era, right? And just that feeling of the cocktail lounge that I mentioned from the America's Got Talent performance of Bohemian Rhapsody, where I said, not knowing that she had this jazz background in her, like listening to some of your comments, it sounds like she studied a lot of the jazz greats, and I could hear that in her. But, you know, I mentioned, like, I picture her up on the stage in a cocktail lounge with all the attention, the eyes glued to her, right? And this has that same feeling, right? The small little jazz quintet, and just, it's got that groove, and this is just fantastic. So I gotta transition out of the sax solo, so I'm gonna back it up a little bit here.
Stop the things you do. Hey, what's up?
Woo!
I ain't lying.
Okay, well, I want to watch that one more time because I think I noticed something.
Stop the things you do. Hey, what's up?
Okay, I didn't quite catch it the second time. I don't know if that's just the camera and shadow, but what I think I saw was her wink as she did that. Which is just so mature. Right here, so let's... It's hard to tell. Maybe it was just the shadows. But the, I obviously can't do it, but that was just, it was a cool technique. It was like almost a voice shaking. She interrupted her breath. It wasn't one big thing. I feel like she had a pattern interrupt there.
Things you do. Hey, what's up? I ain't lying. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you anyhow. I don't care if you don't want me, I'm yours right now. I put a spell on you because you're mine now.
Seeing the full picture of her as opposed to the close-up there while singing, it's just unreal to picture that little girl and this big, mature sound coming out of her.
I put a spell on you.
That hits so hard. I put a spell on you. Right? The band is dunt, dunt, dunt. I put a spell on you.
I'm yours right now. I put a spell on you.
Oh.
'cause you're mine I don't care if you don't want me. I'm yours right now.
Holy cow! So I saw her barefoot, and I learned from you all that she does that intentionally because something to do with raising money for children or orphans or something to that effect. I don't remember the specifics. Sorry, guys. You are all feeding me an incredible amount of information, which is amazing, but it's a lot to consume. And I'm trying to respond to all of your comments, and it's a lot, and I've responded to a ton at this point, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of comments, like literally probably 1,000 at this point. I don't even know, in just the last few days, and I'm not going to be able to continue to respond to all of them as this channel grows, but I do absolutely appreciate each and every one of you. So please do subscribe if you want to hear and see more of these. That said, this girl at the age of 9 is an absolute prodigy. I mean, she's outside the stratosphere. I mean, she's up there absolutely, I say this without hesitation, to the likes of Dimash. Now that I've responded to 3 Dimash songs. I cannot wait to explore more of this, more of her. It sounds like she has an amazing soul, and this is very early on. That's what's crazy about this. And being a jazz musician myself, I appreciate this so much more. In fact, I think this may well be my favorite reaction thus far. As much as I literally fell off my chair for Dimash, watch that if you haven't. I don't even have words for this. Like, it's not human. It feels like it's not even possible. Like, she's a modern day, like, Beethoven or some just best of all time artist. For her to be able to do what she's done at this age, with the understanding that she has and the mixture of all these styles, it's not just, I've watched and followed Nina Simone to a T, and I'm doing everything she does. Speaking of which, one of the things I wanted I was wondering, I was waiting for it. I thought she was going to do it. But I mean, she probably thought about it, but maybe she hasn't developed that yet. It is possible. But what I didn't hear her do was some scatting. Right? You hear a Nina Simone version like, like, that's a horrible scat. But you know, the idea of just like on the fly playing with that and just the vocal sounds. You know, Terry Mumbles, one of my favorite of all time, if you want to listen to more of that. But I didn't hear that from her, and so I'm curious if she develops that at a later age, or if it's just a musical choice. Because if this girl's able to scat at the age of 9, holy cow. Well, no, forget it. I throw all that out. Holy cow already. Like, seriously, I am flabbergasted. And I say that word intentionally because the last time I feel like I heard that word used was my brother when he was on TV with a car crashing into his neighbor's house and he was being interviewed or something like that. And he said he was flabbergasted. And I remember that term because I thought it was an interesting choice, and I feel like right now I'm flabbergasted. I'm at a loss for words. I absolutely need to see and hear more of her immediately. She is absolutely right up there with Dimash in my mind now. Angelina Jordan, I bow down to you. And I'm sure you're going to misconstrue this. Some of you, obviously most of you are amazing, but the one or two of you want to do it, fine, are going to misconstrue what I'm saying here and talk about it romantically or something. Obviously the girl's freaking 9 years old. Come on. But I want to marry you. You're freaking amazing. Like, this is incredible. I am looking forward to going on the journey with you, Angelina Jordan. I see Fly Me to the Moon up there. Yes, Fly Me to the Moon. You put a spell on me. I'm in your web. I don't know what else to say. You put a spell on me, and I'm hooked. I'm in. I'll see you guys for the next one. Thank you again, and please don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.